iPad went to sleep. How we doing today, guys? I got very, very little to do with you guys today. I didn't realize how little it was going to be until somebody mentioned to me that number 7 and 8 is the same exact problems on homework number 14. So I'll get you guys started on 7 and 8 and show you guys what each one of those mean again to make sure you guys are all right. And yeah, otherwise I just got to do that piecewise. Thank you, Hannah. I'm going to try to get in on Thursday, Hannah. That is my goal. It's just a matter of I'll email Scott to make sure that he's okay with it. I heard a lot of the teachers have been going in this week now that we know that school is not going to be back in session. So a lot of teachers are going up and cleaning out their rooms. So I will probably stop up Thursday morning. Probably. Not 100% sure yet. But anyways, back to the lesson itself. So we did part of the first page of lesson 16 yesterday. Obviously, you could see that I skipped over some stuff, crossed off some stuff. We ended on the piecewise where we created the equation from the lines. I'm going to do number 6 where we're going to create the lines from the equations. And then 7 and 8, I'm just going to do a little touch up on those to make sure you guys are okay. All right, so we have 3 different parts of the equation, so I'm just going to color code them because it's easiest to do these when they are color coded. So we have 3 different parts, and my recommendation, especially since you guys are stuck pretty much doing this on your iPad, use your eraser function for these. But he's there tomorrow, so it's probably okay. Thanks, Hannah. Yeah, I'll probably email him right after the lesson. I really just want to clean out my room and get the rest of the stuff that I need that I would normally bring home for the summer. So first equation is x plus 5. So I'm just going to graph it like I normally do. Y-intercept is at 5. So I'm going to put in a dot up at 5. And the slope is up 1 over 1. So I am graphing this entire line. And then what I like to do is after I graph the line, and you got to make sure when you guys are doing this on the iPad, switch your eraser. Oh, wait. Can you not switch? Oh, I froze. That's why. Okay. Switch your eraser to partial. Because if you don't switch it to partial, it's going to erase the whole line. We only want to erase a piece of it. And this is saying that we only care about all of the answers that are between, that are less than or equal to -2. And it's where x is -2. So I'm going to go to where x is -2. And I'm going to make sure that the only part that we have of this line is everything that's going to be smaller than -2. So I got to erase this entire line, part of the line that I drew up top. And this is a closed circle because it's an equal sign, so I'm going to put a closed dot right there. So this is my recommendation when you guys are drawing them out because it makes it a lot easier. You already have the line drawn. Now erase the part that doesn't matter. So I'm going to do the same thing for this red line. So the red line says the y-intercept is at -1. This says that the slope is going to be -2 over 1. So it's saying I'm going down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And I can keep doing that. And then I'm going to create my line through that. And if I did it correctly, it should go through that blue dot, which it does. And again, now that I got the full line drawn, I only care about a piece of it because it's a piecewise function. And it says that we only want the answers between -2 and 2. So anything that's smaller than -2 does not matter. So I'm going to erase everything that's up here. So all of that is gone. And we also want to erase everything that is bigger than +2. So I want to erase everything that is down here. So now we have 2 pieces drawn. Now I'm just going to do the third piece. I'm hoping you guys are feeling comfortable with these. We've done piecewise for a bit now. I'm just going to assume that -9 is way down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I was wrong. That is apparently 10. So that one's 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So, and then this slope says that we're going up to over 1. So I'm going to do that. And again, some of you guys are probably already noticing, and you're not drawing all of this out. Some of you guys are probably already noticing what the answer is, and that's fine. I'm just drawing it all out for no purposes, of course. So in this one, we know that the only answers that matter are the ones that are bigger than 2. So I'm going to erase everything that is smaller than that 2, which is over here. And then everything else is going to be okay. I just have to make sure I put a little arrow after this showing that it's going on forever and ever and ever. And what we just did is we drew our piecewise function for f of x, which is shown over to the left. Okay. So that's all I got with those. The only part I'm going to show you guys on 7 and 8, because this is a homework question for homework number 14. I didn't realize that I used the same numbers. I thought I switched them up. So I'm just going to help you guys out with what you need to do for A, B, and C, and D for these. And then you guys could type it into the calculator to find your answers. So as far as number 7 goes, number 7 I think are the easier ones, because when you guys go to do the vertical and horizontal asymptotes, it's represented by the vertical asymptote is what's going through the x-axis. So you're trying to find the x that does not work. And for the horizontal asymptote, you are looking for the y that does not work. So in the notes, I showed you guys how you can do this. For the vertical asymptote, you were just trying to find when the denominator is going to be 0. So you have to figure out what x value is going to make that 0. So figure out what x has to equal in order for that to be 0. And as far as the y value goes, that is just whatever your k value is. So we said in the class, when we did this lesson way back, that the k value is just represented by whatever number you're adding or subtracting. So essentially, I already gave you guys the answer for 7b, because I'm telling you that y would be equal to -3. Okay. As far as the x and y intercepts go, oh, it does ask for domain and range. Domain and range is basically after you do the vertical and horizontal asymptotes, you would put it into the squiggly brackets. That's the only difference. So Hannah's saying, hey, homework says find domain and range. A and B are just like domain and range. When you guys go to do the domain and range, you would just say, hey, all the x values work, but x cannot equal whatever number you got for the vertical asymptote. You do the same thing for the range. So this one would represent domain. This one would represent range. So range would be just the y values. And in this case, we just said that the y values cannot equal -3. So I actually just gave you that part on the homework as well. So again, in order to find the domain, you're just finding the x value that does not work in that denominator. You have to find where it's going to make it undefined. As far as C and D goes, x-intercept and y-intercept, that's something we've been doing since Algebra 1. You're just telling me where the, if it's x-intercept, when y is equal to 0. So you just have to plug 0 into the function. And when you do part D, it is where x is equal to 0. And you just have to plug it into the function and solve. So that's everything you guys have to do for number 7. Number 8 is almost identical The only thing I have to show you guys is the horizontal asymptote because we don't have a K value in this one. So when you're looking for horizontal asymptotes, what we said is we had to find where y is equal to A over C. So Haley, after you guys graph, or here, this is what I'm going to do because this is a good question. So Haley's asking, hey, what are those graphs for? If I go back to, it was homework or lesson number 9. This is where it was these questions on lesson number 9, Haley, where we went through and drew in the dotted lines, where we drew in the asymptotes. And then I told you guys you could type them into the calculator and draw the curves. So example number 1 that I have right here is just like number 7 that I was doing in the notes. So as you guys can see, here's your K value. Okay, apparently it doesn't want me to show you. It says y is equal to K. I said up top here that -1 is where the asymptote is. That's where it cannot equal. So that's where we drew our dotted line here at -1. So when you're going to do the graphs, for example, in this lesson right here, so if we're looking at number 7, we got y cannot equal -3. I'm going down to -3, and I'm drawing a dotted line going straight across there because we know that there are no solutions that can cross that line. Then you just have to do the same thing for the x. So if we have a vertical asymptote, you just have to tell me what x value doesn't work. And honestly, I'm just going to say what it is because this one's actually pretty easy. X cannot be equal to -1 because if you guys plug -1 into the bottom of that fraction, -1 plus 1 will be 0. So now I know that I can draw a vertical line here at -1. Now what you guys have to do is type that original equation into the calculator and just tell me where the curves are going to be. So hopefully that answers your question, Haley. You're just finding where the dotted lines are and then typing in the calculator and figuring out what the curves are going to be. Number 8 is exactly the same, except it's not a K value. Instead, for letter B, you're going to do y equals A over C. So it's the number that's in front of the x value on the top and the number that's in front of the x value on the bottom. So that in front of the x value on top is 1, and in front of the x value on the bottom is 2. So in this case, y cannot equal 1/2. All right, good, Haley. I just wanted to, that's why I wanted to go back to the lesson to make sure you felt okay. But everything else on number 8 will be exactly the same. So when you guys go to do the vertical asymptote, you just have to find out which x value is not going to work. So figure out what number do you have to plug in for x to make that bottom equal to 0. Okay, and then x-intercept, y-intercept, same thing. You're plugging in 0 for either x or y. Cross multiply if you have to. Solve it out. But really, that's all this last part of the lesson was. Is to make sure that you guys are okay with that. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Shoot me an email. Go through Zoom if you have to. Whatever you guys need to do. Okay? But yeah, today was short and sweet. That was it. So just let me know. Stop by Zoom tomorrow. I will be on Zoom. Sorry about today. I told some of you guys, but my father-in-law had to go to the doctor's to get some shots in his back. He did it last week. He had to do it again this week. And so that's why I had to skip over Zoom because I had to sit in the doctor's office parking lot for 2 hours while he had that done. It was so much fun. Yeah. So yeah, hit me up tomorrow if you guys have any questions, or even later this evening if you guys need to. All right. Have a good one, guys, and go enjoy the nice weather. I am about to grill a steak. I haven't had a steak in forever. It is going to be delicious. So, see you guys.